When I said yes to the opportunity, I didn't question whether I could do it. I questioned if the staff would be ready for how I do it. On my first day on the job, what I remember most was I was one of the only females, I was one of the youngest, and no one was smiling. And as I thought about it, I thought, this is such an unlikely combination, but I belong here. My desires with personal growth, it goes back to my youth, just always hungry for learning, and it goes back to my parents. One of the ways that they communicated to me was through books. I love reading books about people, about personal growth, about leadership. My dad worked 2 jobs most of his life. My mother was a stay-at-home mother, and although my parents went through financial strains, we still were eating. Right? We still had clothes on our back. And I wanted to be what my parents were, but go further than they did. My focus was going to college, which was a big thing because none of my siblings went to college. I remember being a college student, going home on the Greyhound bus, and inmates would be released from prison, getting on that bus. And I was curious and excited because it was what I was studying, political science and criminal justice. And I'd wait for them to sit down, give them a few moments, and then I would approach them and introduce myself and ask them questions about being in prison. I was definitely moved by the fact that maybe this person will do something better. When I started working and moving up in the prison system, I was questioned about being there. I was asked, why is a cute little gal like you working in a prison? I was asked, why are you here? And I was told that you won't make it. My mom was in the hospital, and then my dad got sick, and they were in the hospital across the street from one another. I made it a point to double check with the lieutenant, told him about my mom. You know, this is the situation. I just want to be able to contribute to taking care of her. And he said, you're gonna have to choose between the agency and your mother. I felt that no person should ever be spoken to in this manner, and no leader should do that. And maybe if I became a leader, I could be better, and no one has to have that experience. At that same time, one of my wardens was promoting me. He told me that I'm going to promote you to personnel officer, and I said, no, I'm not ready for that. And he's like, yeah, you are, Darlene. And then my father passed, and I was navigating these 2 things, and I had to do it. And I had the benefit of good leadership to keep me on track. It was actually one of my associate wardens who was telling me about this book, The 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership. And you got to get this book. And so he got the book for me, and we started studying it with our managers, with our department head levels. We got everybody the book, and then we started buying all these Maxwell team books, and we had a Maxwell team library of books. But that was my first one, and it just evolved from there. When I got the opportunity to be the first female to serve as warden at the United States Penitentiary, Atlanta, I knew that I had the capability of doing it. All that I have been blessed with through my growth and teachings from other people, the mentoring, that this is the time for me to put everything that I have in this assignment to make an impact, to make things better. As I began to think about retiring from the federal prison system, I knew that I would be teaching somewhere. I would be training somewhere. I would be speaking somewhere, but I didn't know where. One day, I got on the computer and Googled my friend, John Maxwell, and saw that what the John Maxwell team does aligned with what I want to do. When I joined the Maxwell team, I didn't know how I was going to start building my business. So then I get on one of the calls, and they're telling you how to do it. And it took away any of my anxieties or my questions. Where do I start? Right here. It's laid out for you, Darlene. All you have to do is do it. I'm actually doing what I love to do, and I get to do it all the time. And these days, as I walk in on my first day on the job, I am so excited about the possibilities of what's going to take place with this team. And none of it would have been possible had I not joined the Maxwell leadership team and get the chance to serve people in this manner. And that's what personal growth did for me.